SUCRAM, and today's a very special episode because, as you can see in the corner, there's no longer a counter for Ryan Leonard. Because guess what? Your boy is a Washington Capital. Boston College was knocked out on Sunday by my Pios. Go Pios. Gonna win it all again this year. Ryan Leonard officially made his NHL debut yesterday in front of his home crowd. His teammates even showed up, had a blast. Even Cole Hudson showed up and had a blast. He didn't score, but he still was very noticeable on the ice. And me and Gil have already talked about this. We expect it'll come. We did not expect him to come out and score a fucking hat trick. No, he had a couple chances. It's just the puck could not find him last night, and that's fine. It's his first ever NHL game. He's got little jitters. We'll see what he looks like tonight. I think he's going to get on the scoreboard tonight. I just don't think it's a goal. I think it's going to be an assist. I think he'll have he'll find a way to get assists tonight. But we will have a little prediction at the end of the episode on where we actually think Ryan Leonard's first career goal is going to be. I'm starting to lean towards Pittsburgh. I want it to be Pittsburgh. I do want it to be Pittsburgh, but I think he's going to score before that. He's going to score way before that.
Chicago. That's
still, 6-7 games away? I think he'll find the back of the net before then. All right, Gil, we got some games to recap. When the hell? We didn't recap the 3 games before this. Let me pull up the stats. Where the hell is this? Why isn't this showing? Why the hell isn't this showing? This is not showing, and this is pissing me off. All my freaking, hold on. See, all of my, alright, I have to open up a new one. Alright, so we're going to open up a new one here. Alright, Google, NHL's. I should probably just do Washington. Okay, Washington. Capitals scores. All right. Here we go. Okay, so we left off. I believe we barely even talked about the last 2 games before this. The last episode, because we really had other things to talk about. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 more games. Yeah, he's going to get a goal before the Pittsburgh game. I would love, though, it would be fucking amazing and funny as all hell if he scores a hat trick against Pittsburgh. And then Ovi breaks the record for the 4th goal. Alright, so the last games we covered, I think, was Detroit, Philadelphia, and Florida, and then the Winnipeg game. So now we got Minnesota, Buffalo, and Boston. Okay. We're going to do a little small recap, because we're going to talk about the Boston game the most. We lost 4-2 to Minnesota, lost 8-5 to Buffalo. Ovi scores 890 and then he's going to score 891 in this game and potentially scores 892 tonight. Gil, your overall thought for this game? This first period felt like Ryan Leonard brought some energy to this team, and they look like the Capitals of old before this freaking little slump that we've been going through. Then the second period happened, and then Boston came back and threw a punch at us. Then the third period happened where it felt like the Capitals kind of woke up a little bit and they kind of got their chances. And Ryan Leonard was a big problem for Boston in that third period, especially every shift he got out there, as they show Ryan Leonard on the recap. You told me you thought the kid had a good game. I thought the kid had a good game. People are going to look at it and say, oh, he didn't score. He didn't have anything. No, he had a massive hit in the first period. A hit that it was so massive that he even got a fist pump from Ovechkin.
That hit was awesome. I love a good mid-ice hit.
He had his chances, and I love McGrath to death, but he kind of screwed. Can you open that? He kind of screwed Ryan Leonard there, because Ryan Leonard was wide open. He was alone in front of the net. when the Caps had the puck and McGrath started fighting, he was all alone in front of the net. So he kind of took away a scoring chance, but you know what? He fired the team up. It got the team getting going. I know Boston scored after that to tie it, but it's still, this was a back and forth game. This is a game the Capitals absolutely needed. They get the win. They get back in the win column. Boston has now lost 9 straight. I think Boston's done. But let's get into it. Nick Dowd and the Capitals love scoring shorthanded goals. I think this is back-to-back games with the shorthanded goal. This is their 8th shorthanded goal this year. I know Protas has 3. Dowd has, I think, 3 as well. Duhaime has another one too. Duhaime, I think, has 2 as well. Wilson has 1 as well. He had 1 against Detroit. So it's 1-0. Then the Capitals get a power play after, David Pastrnak does it twice in this game. Not just once, but dos. He costs the Boston Bruins a power play by taking a stupid penalty. Ovechkin makes them pay. I was not expecting Leonard to be on the power play in his first game. They're going to slowly ease him into the power play. I expect him to be on the second power play line from here, including going into next season. And then towards the end of next season, I think they're going to try to find a way to put him on the top power play line. But right now, it's just getting the kid ready. But this power play looked really good for the Capitals. Caps go 1 for 2 on the power play. Bruins go 1 for 3. Capitals are up 2-0, and we're thinking, well, holy shit, maybe Leonard was what we needed because they looked amazing in this period. The Capitals were all over Boston. But then the second period happened, and Gil was pulling his hair out, the hair that he has left. Capitals just felt like they sat back in this period. And it cost them. Boston's Vinny Lettieri made it 2-1, and then David Pastrnak on the power play. Again, in the same period, the same thing happened. Pastrnak took a power play away from them, and it turned to a Caps power play. Didn't do anything with it, though. But Pastrnak would score in the very next power play they get, which I gotta say, not a very good game for some of the Caps defense. Chychrun took a very bad penalty. That was a very bad penalty to take right there, and it cost them. Capitals score, or the Penguins. The other black and gold team, the Bruins, scored to make it 2-2. Going into the third period, it's all right. It's okay. We're tied. It's not the end of the world. It's back and forth. All right, so now finally Protas gets the assist. Originally the NHL app said he didn't get the assist last night. And I'm like, well, that doesn't make sense. Protas is the one that passed it over to Farivari. So how is Farivari?
Beep, 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 beep.
All right, so Strome. So here's the play. It gets in. The puck is sent around. Leonard has the puck, and usually, in any other sense, a rookie would cough it up. But Leonard makes an amazing play to keep that play in, and he gets it over to Protas. Protas gets to Farivari, and then this entire sequence, Leonard's in front of the net, and that's exactly what we need. We need that presence, and that's what we've been missing. And that's one thing I will say Leonard will bring to the team, is that he will be in front of that net and being that fucking pesky guy that gets in the goalie's way and be in the front of the net. Because he was there all night. It's not just this shift. He was there all night, and in return, the puck goes off. Dylan Strome's there, pots it in the back of the net. Caps lead 3-2. I know Leonard doesn't get an assist, but I think he deserves an assist on that play. Even Gil, you mentioned it last night.
If he doesn't do the work in the corner, that's what impressed me about his game. He was very strong along the boards. He doesn't pull what he pulled in the corner to keep that play alive. That goal doesn't happen.
Exactly.
And
then 4 minutes later, this ended up being the game winner. But 4 minutes later, it goes off a Bruins player and then into the back of the net. Todd Wilson. Beer Girl score. Todd Wilson. Makes it his 32nd goal. He's on pace for 35. 4-2, and then the Capitals play a little sloppy towards the end. It felt like they were trying to get Ovi the puck to score the empty netter. Didn't happen. Bruins won. Bruins scored. Pasternak, not for lack of trying, made it 4-3. Bruins win 4-3. Capitals are now, I believe, if they beat Carolina tonight and they beat Chicago on Friday, I believe they only need 2 more wins to clinch the division. So, but Carolina can also clinch the playoffs tonight with just a point. Carolina only needs a point. Toronto only needs a point tonight. Tampa Bay needs a win tomorrow. So we're going to see a lot of teams clinching. Vegas clinched last night. Vegas didn't even win. Calgary lost last night. Vegas clinched. So, Gil, what are your expectations going for the rest of the season? This team was a tale of 2 periods. The first period looked amazing. And I kind of, like I said, I said it last night. I'm going to say it again. A lot of that had to do with having a brand new kid, a new guy in the lineup to get them a little bit energized. And the team looked energized for that first period. But then Boston punched back. But you knew Boston wasn't going to go away. I mean, Boston's struggling. They're lost in 8 in a row. But they're still, in my opinion, a good enough team to win every night. And you just can't take your foot off the gas like that. And that's been this team's biggest problem is that when we have leads, we've been sitting on them. And it's going to cost us come playoff time.
Mm-hmm.
But now we got Carolina tonight. We got Chicago on Friday. Gil is predicting Ovechkin breaks it against the Islanders.
No.
Not this game.
No. In the last home game against
you
the
picked
Blue
Columbus?
Jackets.
I thought you said the second Islanders game.
No. The second Blue Jackets game.
Oh, okay. I could have. Maybe that was dumb.
They play the Blue Jackets in a home towards the end of the season.
I think he's going to beat it a little bit earlier than that because he's on track. If he scores in this game, scores against Chicago, scores against the Islanders, and scores against Carolina, he beat it. So I think he's going to score tonight. I mean, win or lose, I think Ovi's going to find the back of the sheet. He scored in 2 games. So let's look at our next possible games. We have Carolina tonight, which, we have to live stream. It's a fucking... son of a bitch. We got to live stream it. They moved it to TNT tonight. Fucking son of a bitch. Now I'm not going to do my homework until afterwards. Fuck. Whatever. They have Chicago on Friday, which has been put on NHL Network. We will not be live streaming that because we'll be at the Nats game. Which Cheryl's biggest fear is that Ovi scores 2 tonight and scores a hat trick on Friday and beats it. But I'm saying even if he beats it Friday, the Nationals are going to show it on the screen. They're going to announce it at the ballpark.
They'll probably stop the game for it.
They'll stop the game for it, and they will show it on the screen. So she doesn't have to worry about it. I don't think he's going to do it, though. I don't think he's... But it would...
I don't think he will either.
It would be some shit, though. It would be crazy if he does do it. Like, he scores 2 tonight and scores 3. He only needs 4 goals. He only needs 4 more goals, which is doable. He can score 4 goals in 2 games. He's done it before. But he's playing... Well, Chicago, I think he's going to have... Chicago is going to be a tougher game than people think. Chicago's getting their prospects up, and they look pretty good. Like, they lost against, Utah? But Oliver Moore and them still look pretty good on the ice. They're going to be a problem for us on Friday because they're getting faster. And that was what I'm telling you. Connor Bedard only had to sail the ship until the Blackhawks got their top prospects over. And they potentially could get Michael Misa? Michael Misa drafted as well, so that adds even more. So now they have Connor Bedard, they have Oliver Moore, they signed that big Russian from Michigan State, they have Sam Rinzel, they have Alex Velasquez, what is it, fucking Marc-Andre Velasquez? What's Marc-Andre his cousin, Alex, is it Alex Velasquez? Or is it Velasquez? Whatever, his cousin, Marc-Andre Vlasic. Marc-Andre Vlasic's cousin, Alex Vlasic, he's on the team. He's tall as fuck. They also got Frank Nazar, who's been here and there. So now they might suck, but they're not going to suck in the next 4 years. Chicago may be in the shit right now, but they drafted well to the point where they're signing all these guys that all they got to do is come in and develop. A lot of Oliver Moore is going to be a beast for them. That was a complete fucking steal of a draft for them. I don't know how the fuck Oliver Moore fell to them on their second pick in the 2023 draft. The same draft that Bedard was drafted, the same draft that Ryan Leonard was drafted. Oliver Moore fell to fucking Chicago. They're going to be tough. The Islanders are going to be tough. That's a game we might, I don't know. If I'm working past 12, I'm not live streaming that because I can't. Then we have Carolina on the 10th, which is also going to be on Disney Plus. Holy shit. That's going to be live streamed. Columbus can't be live streamed. I'm working that day. Then the next game to be live streamed is the Islanders in Pittsburgh. So we're going to be live streaming a lot. And even then, we're probably not going to be live streaming those games because we're probably going to be down in D.C. to do a watch along on those games. Especially that Columbus game. That Columbus game, if he hasn't beaten it yet, we've definitely got to do a watch along at the channel then. But Gil,
When is that one?
that's the 13th. It's a Sunday, April 13th. That was when I originally thought Leonard was going to make his debut. He made his debut way before that. Because I thought BC was going to go to, me and even Gil we thought BC was going to the Frozen Four. If he would have won Sunday, he would still be on Boston College. Thank God he's not. I mean,
Okay.
would I love for him to win the fucking Frozen Four national title? Yes. But is it greedy for me that I wanted him to be on the Capitals quicker than I thought he would be? Maybe not.
Also, yes. Also, yes.
It's
Don't even
selfish.
say maybe.
It's selfish, but I mean, hey, fuck it, we got him, all right. So it's gonna be a crazy ride for the Capitals. Let's do this, Gil. Okay, so we got Hershey Bears. They play Friday. I'm expecting. I don't know if we announced it yet. They officially on Twitter. They have announced. They came out and said Ryan Chesley and David Kuchati, and then they just signed an undrafted free agent too. What's his name? Lean, I think his name is.
But he's going to South Carolina, right?
Yeah, he's going to South Carolina, but the Hershey Bears themselves signed him, not the Capitals.
Gotcha. Does that mean he's Hershey for life, or could he eventually become a Capital?
He'd have to sign an NHL deal.
Okay.
He signed an
Sorry.
AHL deal, so he's playing in the AHL.
He signed an AHL.
Lyndon
Okay.
Breen signs with the AHL with the Hershey Bears, and he will join the South Carolina Stingrays. Lyndon
Gotcha.
Breen was the captain of the main team. So here,
Okay.
they don't even have this.
The
up.
team that's in the thing right now? Name?
No, they lost.
Well, yeah, that was in the thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
the ones they got knocked out by. Why isn't this not coming up? You know what? Fuck it. I'm turning this off. What is the live stream image? Why isn't this coming up? There we go. Okay. So here it is. So we have it here. You guys don't see it. Let's see if you can see it, Gil.
I can't see anything.
I haven't shared it yet. How about now? Can
Oh.
you guys see it?
I see. Yes.
Yep.
Okay. So they announced today, like I said, that they signed Ryan Chesley and David Gucciardi to amateur tryouts, which people don't understand what an amateur tryout is. Gil, do you want to explain it?
ATO, basically it's a short-term contract. It's meant to be for the rest of the season. It does not bind him to the team. It leaves, like you said, leaves the options open for everybody, and it keeps the door open for a permanent contract in the full year. That's the big thing. It leaves everybody's options open so that he's got no pressure on him, and it doesn't bind him to the team. So for example, if the Caps need to call him up, they can.
Yes. Which I think they won't, because Hershey's going to be using him.
No, they probably won't.
No.
That's a bit of a long shot unless you got like 4 or 5 injuries on the defense.
Even then, I don't think Todd Nelson's going to give him up, because I think Todd Nelson has been very vocal about these two signings. He is very excited for these two, and Chesley, I would not be, like I said before the podcast, I would not be shocked if he gets thrown right into that top four pairing to see what it is. The thing about this, though, there's a difference between Chesley and Gucciardi's amateur tryout agreements. Gucciardi, I don't think the Capitals are very high on him. They just wanted to sign him so they can keep him and give extra help on Hershey. Chesley, if they already came out and said Chesley will. There's no where he's just going to walk. No, he already will sign with the team at a later date. He just wants to play. It's like I said, it's easy. Like Gil said, easy on the team. Chesley can play now. He can continue playing hockey. He doesn't have to worry about signing a contract. This helps towards the Capitals because when the season ends, his entry-level contract will not burn. It'll be started next year. Chesley will sign with the team when the season ends. Do not be shocked when either Hershey gets knocked out or at the end of at the beginning of the NHL playoffs, Ryan Chesley signs his contract, because then that way it will not count towards his entry-level contract. It also will not count towards the 50-man contracts because they will automatically be voided come playoff time because you can have as many players on your roster without even cap restrictions. That's the difference between the trade deadline rule and the NHL playoff rule. The NHL trade deadline you have no limitations on roster limit space, but it has a cap restriction. You have to be below the cap. That's why the Capitals were able to sign Ryan Leonard and keep him on the roster, because Ryan Leonard is only making $950,000 a year, and they still have over $2 million in cap space. In Chesley's case, if they both would have signed and then Gucciardi signed, the Capitals wouldn't have been able to sign anyone else until the season ended. Now they can sign someone, potentially another prospect, to put on Hershey. I don't think they will. I'm just saying this leaves a lot open for the Capitals. But like I said, people that are worried, well, Chesley's just going to walk after this. No, he is already come out and said that he is planning on signing at a later date. Possibly, and the Capitals believe, truly the Capitals believe, and this is not just me, and this is not just speculation, I'm just saying personally, this is what it feels like. And a lot of the reporters who come out and stuff, this is what it feels like, that he's going to sign later. And this could be, even Sam came out. She came out and said that he is planning on signing. This allows the Capitals to see what they have in him come playoff time for Hershey. And if they feel like he's a long-term in the top four or the bottom six, which I think he's a top four. I mean, Chesley's not. He's a shutdown defenseman. He's going to be our guy that's going to come in and shut the door. He is going to sign his entry-level contract. Like, Gil, you probably wouldn't be shocked.
Out of there.
Come April 18th, Chesley signs a 3-year entry-level contract.
I don't see why he waits past that. There's no reason.
Well, I'm saying that because that's when the regular season in the NHL ends.
Spaghetti.
So that's basically when the entry-level contract won't burn for this season. So say if he signs that before the 17th, the end of the season, and then when Hershey season ends, because I think it will be when Hershey season ends, and I think they have a few more games. They have more games to play over Washington. That's the main goal right now for the Caps. They don't want to burn his ELC right away. So Chesley signing this, like I said, amateur tryout agreement actually works in both favors. Chesley will sign his entry-level contract. He's already guaranteed that he's going to. This way he can play for Hershey. Todd Nelson's going to get the best out of him. Todd Nelson gets the best out of all of their players. He's a future NHL head coach. But let's talk about another player that signed recently who's making his debut tonight. And why he's a freaking retard. Gabriel Perreault. I mean, I'm not shocked he signed. I am not shocked he signed at all. I just wish he waited. He waited till after Laviolette gets fired. Because Laviolette's probably going to flop him on the fourth line. Let's look at their starting lineup tonight.
If he's even in the lineup tonight.
He's in the lineup. He's making his debut tonight. They've already said it. Oh, he's on the top four. Look at that. Oh, shit. Top six. That's a first. Give it a minute. Laviette will fucking throw his ass on that bottom 4, that bottom 6, before you know it.
He'll bury him.
He'll fucking bury him, dude.
He will.
And I was telling people on Twitter, I said, Gabriel Perreault could have waited until the offseason when Laviette got fired, because damn well the Rangers are going to be on David Carl. They're going to be in on David Carl. And Gabriel Perreault knows David Carl because he was his head coach for the World Juniors the last 2 years. And to go from fucking Peter Laviette, or go from Greg Brown, who's another excellent college coach, to fucking Peter Laviette is terrible. I mean, in Ryan Leonard's sense, he's going from a great coach to an even better coach. Greg Brown's a great coach, but he doesn't get the best out of all of his players. Spencer gets the best out of all of his players, which is why it's a great combination for Spencer and Ryan Leonard, and which is I'm not surprised he's got a lot of faith in Ryan Leonard, because that's what Spencer does. But Gabriel Perreault is making his debut tonight. We'll see how he does. I'm assuming James Hagan. I'm surprised. I'm assuming we're gonna probably see something where Will Smith, Gabriel Perreault, and Ryan Leonard all take a picture with their jerseys on, in the off season. James Hagan is all alone in Boston College. Poor James Hagans. He won't be there for long. He'll get drafted. Stay tuned to that on Tuesday. Mock draft 5.0. I repeat, 5.0. With me and Gil. We're going to do 2 rounds. 2 rounds this time. All right. Gil, what are your predictions for tonight?
Going to be tight, going to be close. I think this is the game that wakes them the fuck up. I think they played down to Boston the whole second period. I'm glad they turned it on enough to win the game. I still think that if that game went into overtime, they lose. If they got the tying goal, they lose.
Here's the thing: if it was still 2-2 going to overtime, I think the Caps win. But the Caps blow a 4-2 lead. I agree. They would have blown that 4-2 lead. It would have been over. But I was telling Cheryl, I'm like, wouldn't it have been funny though? Boston ties it, and then Leonard scores the game winner in overtime in his hometown. But it wasn't meant to be.
No, of course not.
Even Gil made a joke. Gil's like, there's not Ryan Leonard. You have a chance to do something funny now.
Yep.
Gil, what are your predictions for the kid tonight?
He's finding his rhythm. It's probably going to take him maybe 1 or 2 more games.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think he's going to score tonight. I think he might get an assist. He will find a way to get an assist tonight, which could be his first career point. But I don't think he's going to score until at least the New York Islanders game. I think that's the Islanders game is the game I think he'll find the back of the net. But Gil, that's my next question. When do you think he's going to pot his first goal?
Still trying to, I'm still trying to figure out his style, but I like his board play. I like that he goes to the net.
It's not.
The Islanders game makes the most sense. Maybe the first game with the Blue Jackets.
Yeah,
maybe he gets it then.
Maybe the next game, the second game with Carolina at home, he gets his first goal at home. You know how fucking loud that crowd's gonna be when he scores. He's going to score before the end of the season. I think he's gonna pot at least 3 goals. Maybe he'll have like 5 points to end the season. Then he'll sit in the press box, in case we need him in the playoffs. Unless he does something amazing towards the end of the season where we just can't get him out of the lineup. I just don't see it happen. He's still finding his game. But then, again, we said he was going to be on the third line, and freaking Spencer Carberry said, hold my beer, you fuckers. We're going to throw him on the top line. So what the fuck do we know? We're just fucking fans, all right? We're couch coaches. He's the actual fucking coach. Spencer could come out here and say Ryan Leonard's fucking playing in the playoffs, and we can't do anything about it. I don't think he will, and Gil agrees, but he could. It's his call. It's Spencer's call. If Spencer truly believes Leonard can play in the playoffs, he'll fucking play him. and we have no say about it. Like we're not, we're just couch coaches.
If he's good enough, if he gets good enough, he gets hot enough, I don't see why you leave him out. I don't think it'll get that far.
That's why I'm saying, like, I'm saying right now, if Sonny Milano is ready to go come playoff time, I think that's who replaces Leonard. Leonard sits, Sonny Milano comes in, because I truly believe Radish has played his last game against, what was it, Buffalo? That was his last game as a Capital. I don't see Radish playing another game unless a serious injury happens. And like either Majapani too. Shit. If Leonard stays in the lineup, Majapani's done, and Milano comes back. Bye bye Majapani. He's another one. Bolivia, like, and the thing about this though is what I do. A lot of people are bitching. Well, McMichael's on the fourth and third line. We need McMichael down there because McMichael is producing points. He's producing goals. That is the biggest weakness on that third line is they can't find the back of the net. Look at the game against Buffalo. They were atrocious. Then he kept playing that third line. I don't know what Spencer was trying to do. I get it. He believes in that line, but it just wasn't working all day. And then when he finally put Ovi on that third line, what happened? They fucking scored. Like, Chychrun had a great game against Buffalo.
He did not have a very good game last night.
He was all over the place last night. Like, the whole team. Like him, Carlson had a couple fumbles. Sandin was probably the best defenseman last night. Sandin had a really couple good fucking back checks. Chychrun coughed the puck up. Chychrun took a bad penalty. Carlson was coughing the puck up. TVR coughed the puck up like he always fucking does. He's another guy I think's gone next year. Which is another reason why the Capitals are waiting to sign Chesley to an ELC. They're going to wait to see what they do with him. But, yeah, we'll see what the kid does the rest of the season. Gil thinks Columbus. I think Islanders. I think potentially we'll both be wrong, and he'll score against Carolina. Not tonight, but the home game on the 10th. He'll score then. He has a good chance to score against Chicago. I think if he's gonna really score, like make an impressive game, Chicago's the game because Chicago gives up fucking 5 goals a night, and if he's gonna get on the score sheet, he might not score, but he might get a couple assists in that game. I think that's going to happen. He's going to get an assist tonight, get a couple assists on Friday. Doesn't do nothing on Sunday, and he'll score his first goal against Carolina. But he doesn't even have to put points on the board. He is still noticeable. If he can be the reason why we score goals but doesn't get an assist for it, I'm fine with that. Because he's going to have a high plus minus, and that shows you. That's the one thing about the plus minus that I agree with. It does kind of tell you the story where, like, if they're a major factor, their plus is high. Like you said, Leonard was a big factor in that goal for Strome last night. We'll see what he does tonight. It's going to be a tougher matchup. But the good news is he's playing a weaker goaltender. Frederik Andersen is not as good as Jeremy Swayman. So if Leonard gets chances tonight, he might find the back of the net. I don't think he will. I'm going to say right now, again, I don't think he will. But tonight is another night he could probably score because of the goaltending in net. The same thing with Chicago. Chicago has, like I said, weak goaltending. They give up 5 goals a game. But, Gil, let's get into our next segment and our last segment.
You didn't even ask me my predictions. I am here. I have thoughts.
All right, what do you?
Nobody cares.
Because you aren't as high. You haven't been in the conversation about Leonard as me and Gil have been. That's why I'm not asking you, because it's not as personal. This has been a conversation me and Gil have had for the last 2 years since we drafted the kid. And Gil can attest to that. It's been me and him. That's why I asked him and not you. But we're getting to you because we're doing the prediction of the playoffs. If the playoffs start again, nothing changes. Nothing fucking changes. NHL playoffs bracket. Let's look it up. Okay. Oh, look, the bracket challenge. Oh, this is the 2024. Fucking assholes. All right, here we go. Nope.
Oh,
What website did I
no,
use?
you can't have my earbud. Sorry.
All right, if the playoffs start, okay. New York Times is not gonna let me do it. They're gonna have to make me fucking pay for it. So no, go fuck yourself. Where was it?
You didn't bookmark it?
No. What do you think? I'm smart. All right, here we go. I think this is it.
Thought
Right
you
here.
were.
Here it is. Here it is. Okay. Gil, East or West?
Let's get West out of the way.
All right. So we're assuming Winnipeg. Oh shit. The Wild dropped. I forgot the Blues are fucking won 10 in a row. The Wild. We're in this scenario. If the playoffs started, the Winnipeg Jets win the President's Trophy, first time in franchise history. Gil.
Who are they playing?
So it'd be Jets and
Hold
the
on.
Wild.
I actually lied. We also got to predict the NCAA Frozen Four. We'll do that last. Gil, the Jets and Wild, yes.
Jets in 5.
Like 2018. Hey, remember the last time the Jets played the Wild? Who won the Stanley Cup? We just need the freaking Penguins to make the playoffs and the freaking the Blue Jacks to make the playoffs. All right, Cheryl.
I'm gonna say Jets in 6.
Jets in 4. This Minnesota team, if they would have been able to get Zeev Boom, I would give Minnesota a chance. But it's looking like they're not going to get him until it's a little too late, because they would have had him for a full month, and now they're only going to get him for a couple games, potentially for a couple games. I think you'll find out later with my prediction. Jets are the better team. Jets move on. Now we have the Blues and the Golden Knights, and this one's going to be a good one. This one's a tough one. Gil.
Blues stay hot. I can see an upset brewing here. The Knights have not impressed me lately. Yeah, fuck it. I'll say Blues in 7.
Blues in 7? Okay. Blues in 7 it is. All right. I got to agree. Blues in 7. Edmonton kind of exposed Vegas last night. And the speedy teams, which St. Louis has gotten a lot faster now with Jimmy Snuggerud on their roster. I think St. Louis is going to upset them. St. Louis in 6. Cheryl?
I was gonna say Blues in 7 because of Snuggie coming up and they're getting faster and playing a lot better.
All right. We are. Well, this one might actually be a different pick for me this time around. The Kings and Oilers. Cheryl?
Kings have been playing better, but I'm still gonna say Oilers in 7.
Gil?
Yeah, Oilers in 7.
The Oilers are arguably the worst team right now. The Kings are winning this series. They're finally going to beat Edmonton.
Better. They'll be better if and when McDavid comes back.
They will beat Edmonton. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah,
the
I
Kings.
they had McDavid out.
The Kings.
McDavid's out. I'm gonna switch that.
I'm sorry, but the Kings are right now the best defensive team in the whole league. It doesn't matter if they have McDavid or Draisaitl. The Edmonton Oilers are just struggling right now. They can't find a way to win outside of the Vegas game. The Kings are going to finally knock off Edmonton in 6. This is the year the Kings do it. And the thing is, no one believed in the Kings. Like last week, we had the Kings getting swept. So we have the Kings and Blues rematch of 2012. We have the Jets, and now I will make my prediction last because I have some breaking news. Gil, go ahead.
So which we doing? Kings, Blues?
Stars, Avalanche.
Stars, Avalanche. Still no Heiskanen, but and I think I know what your breaking news is. Tit for tat, no Cale Makar for at least a week and a half.
No, that's not it.
That's not it. But yeah, he went down like last game or game before that, and I think they said he's week to week, so he might be back in time for the playoffs,
I think he will. He will be back
but
in the playoffs.
it's going to be close.
Uh, Go ahead, go.
But yeah, that first round series, he's going to be out of it for a bit, so that's definitely going to 7.
Yeah, but
Uh,
here's what I'm gonna give you, which is gonna give the. I'll just do it now. He's practicing at full speed. He's practicing at full speed on the power play line, and now he is projected to play Game 1 for the playoffs. Gabriel Landeskog is on pace to start Game 1 between Dallas and Colorado.
okay then.
That is the breaking news.
I was leaning towards Colorado anyway. I do not like Dallas in the playoffs.
It's going to depend how Ottinger. Like, I'm not saying this is a guarantee that Landeskog's playing. I'm just saying what it's looking like is projected that because he's at full speed in practice, he is starting to practice with the team more. He's going to be practicing with the team the whole rest of the month. It's basically a given that he's starting Game 1, which is why Game 3 is going to be fucking amazing at Ball Arena. That place
Even
is
if they wait till Game 3 to put him in.
exactly like that place is going to go nuts when he steps on that ice. But yes, you have the Avalanche in how many?
7.
7. Okay, Cheryl.
Yeah, same 7.
Uh, I,
Abs.
I agree. I think this is going to be the best series in the playoffs. This is going to be both ways though. I don't know if I keep my prediction. With the Cal Makar news, but I don't think the Avs are going to need Makar because they're going to have potentially Landeskog back, and the team is just playing so well lately. Right now, they're kind of phoning it in because they know they're going to be the third spot and they're not losing it. But they still have Blackwood, but the thing is, Ottinger can steal a series. And can he steal this one? I don't think he will. I think the Avs get over the Stars. We have a Winnipeg Colorado rematch. All right, so let's get up here. All right. We got Toronto versus Ottawa. Actually, no, yeah. We'll do Buffalo. We'll do Washington versus Montreal. This will probably be this very different if Columbus gets hot. If Columbus gets hot, they have 2 games in hand on New York and a game in hand against Montreal. Columbus could sneak into the playoffs if they get hot. Because Montreal is struggling. They're struggling. They won 2 in a row lately, but they're struggling. Gil, your prediction here, stay probably the same. Caps in 6.
So we're doing which?
Capitals, Habs. Oh,
Okay.
So we'll do what it says right now if the playoffs started, but this could, like I say, this could very change within a week.
Yeah, same 6.
Cheryl.
Yeah, Caps in 6. If it's Columbus, it would be Caps in 7.
Montreal in 5.
Really?
Fuck no. Washington at 7.
April Fools?
Washington at 7. Washington
Yeah,
at
belated
7.
April Fools? Is that what?
Washington at 7. Montreal they scare me, but they don't scare me enough. Because if they got Jacob Fowler, that could scare me. Because then they have a goalie that can come in and shut us down. But it's seeming like he's going back his junior year. So they're not going to have Jacob Fowler. So that gives us an advantage in goaltending. Capitals in 7. I think Montreal gives us a fight, though. All right, so we have Toronto versus Ottawa. The battle of 2 Providence. No, Ottawa's Ontario, right? The battle of 2 Canadian teams, which guarantees a Canadian team to the second round.
I forgot who I picked last time.
Well, there was Florida in first place last time. Toronto might win the division. Florida's fall. I'm picking first. Florida fell down to the third. Sorry, Toronto. Ottawa in 7. I think the Senators are getting hot at the right time. They're getting sneaky good. Allmark loves playing Toronto. Allmark will expose the Maple Leafs again. Toronto loses in 7 and another heartbreaker. Ottawa moves on. Ottawa always does this every time they make the playoffs. They're fucking hard to knock out of the playoffs. If you look in their history since the 90s, this has been what they are, especially in the Daniel Alfredson days. There's a reason why they went to the Stanley Cup final in 2007. Gil, your prediction?
Um, if Ottawa had a more consistent goal scorer, I would say them, but I can't see Toronto losing it, but it's going to be a fight. Toronto in 7.
Cheryl?
Yeah, I'm kind of actually thinking Toronto in 7.
All right, now we have Tampa Bay and Florida. The Battle of Florida 4, and sorry, Florida. I got Tampa in 5. Gil?
Yeah, I can't see Florida losing. Florida in 6.
I don't know. Yeah. Good question.
All the pieces will
Yeah,
come together by then. Marchand's
yeah,
still getting used to being on the team.
I'm kind of thinking Florida in 6.
So I have Tampa Bay,
Oh,
Ottawa.
shush.
I have Tampa Bay, Ottawa
Not
in the
you,
second
my
round.
cat. Jazz.
All right, so we got Carolina and New Jersey. Gil?
Oh, Carolina's going to wipe the floor with New Jersey. 5.
Yeah, they don't have Hamilton or Hughes or freaking Siegenthaler.
Oh,
Cheryl,
Hughes is done till next year.
if they had all three of those guys, I think New Jersey knocks Carolina out. Because they would have had the better goaltending and Markstrom. Cheryl?
Yeah, Carolina 5.
Carolina in 7. I think New Jersey still gives them a fight. We have I just don't think Carolina's as good as people are saying they are. They had this little hot streak. Congratulations. I just don't think they're as good. I think they're gonna fall again. And it's gonna come in this next round. Gil, East or West for the second round to kick off?
East.
East. All right. So we got for you guys. We got Washington, Carolina, Tampa Bay, or Florida, Toronto. I have Washington, Carolina, Ottawa, and Tampa Bay. So I will go last. Cheryl, you go first. Washington or Carolina?
Washington in 7.
Gil?
I'm gonna do my impression of asshole Elliot Friedman and say Washington in 7. Bookmark it, baby. 7th game will go to overtime, and Washington will have its revenge and score the game-winning goal, the series-winning goal, just like they did to us. Bookmark it.
You know what would be funny? And they do it with a young kid, a young stud. Brock McGinn was projected to be a young stud. And Ryan Leonard. I agree with you, Gil. I do think it's going 7. I would love for the Capitals to knock Montreal in 7. Beat them 2-1. Knock out Carolina. What was it? 4-3. And then beat Florida in 6 to go to the Stanley Cup final. Just how like they did in 2018 where they beat 3 teams that they struggled against in the past. I am picking Washington. Like I said, Carolina's a good team. Rod Brind'Amour is a great coach. It just they don't have a superstar. They can't score, and they don't have the goaltending to back it up. Their defense is their strongest feat, but if they go up against a juggernaut that can score at will, they're not going to win. There's a reason why the Rangers constantly beat them. They score at will. Every time they play Carolina, they score at will. Washington has that ability. We don't have the defense, but we really don't need the defense if we can put up 4 or 5 goals on Carolina. Because Carolina can't score, in my opinion, more than 3 goals a game. Washington will win this series. We got Washington in the third round. So we got, all right. So you guys got Tampa Bay, or you got Florida, Toronto. Gil, kick us off. Does Toronto get revenge for 22 or 23?
No, but they'll make it more of a series. Florida 7.
Is this also the last year for Mitch Marner? Does Mitch Marner walk in the offseason?
Probably.
Cheryl?
But he's going to have to
I'll
take a
say
pay cut. Tell you that right
yeah.
now.
If Miko Rantanen's taking a pay cut, which he's better than Mitch Marner, Mitch Marner's going to have to take a pay cut. Cheryl?
Florida 6.
All right, so I have Tampa Bay, Ottawa. I believe this would be a first-time matchup in the playoffs. I got to go with the hot hand, man. It's going to be weird, but Ottawa in 6. I got the Sens knocking out Lightning. I think Tampa Bay has ability to win in the first round, but it just, that depth does not scare me. I don't trust their depth. I don't trust their fucking blue line. The only guy I trust on that roster is Vasilevsky, and even he has taken a step back this year. Ottawa is just, Ottawa's that type of team. If they get rolling, they can have a long run in the playoffs. And we see this every year. We have that one team that goes on a long run. Dallas did it last year. Who was it the year before that? No, Edmonton did it last year. Dallas did it the year before. Colorado did it the Stanley Cup run. Montreal did it in 21. Dallas did it again in 2020.
Don't bite.
Boston did it in 2019.
You bite, you
Vegas
get
did it in 2018. Nashville did it in
I see it. Go.
2017. San Jose did it in 2016. So you get my point. There's always that team that has that long run. I don't think Ottawa goes to the Stanley Cup final, but I would not be shocked if we get some upsets from Ottawa. So we have, for me, Ottawa, Washington in the conference finals. You guys, Florida, Washington. All right, let's do the West. We got St. Louis and LA for me, Edmonton and St. Louis for you guys. Cheryl, kick us off.
I think St. Louis pulls it out. I think they're gonna,
Would this be a revenge?
especially if
Would this be a revenge game for Dylan Holloway?
I think especially if
Remember,
what's his face?
Edmonton let them
David's
walk.
not there.
Edmonton let them walk. So wouldn't this be a revenge series for St. Louis for Dylan Holloway against Edmonton?
I think so. I think they pull it out in 6.
Gil?
Man, this one's
I think, and I don't know how
this
you
one's
pick.
too close.
I don't know how you pick
Edmonton in 7, but it could go either way.
How do you pick Edmonton? Like, I don't trust Stuart Skinner at all. I trust Jordan Binnington more than I trust Skinner, and that says a lot.
That's why it's going to go 7, because both of those goalies are going to have a meltdown at some point.
I trust Binnington more than it because Binnington actually won a Stanley
That's
Cup.
going to be a shootout. There's going to be a lot of series that are lockdown series. That one's going to, every game is going to have be at least 4-3.
But I also trust Jim Montgomery more than I trust the head coach of the Edmonton Oilers.
Yeah. I can see St. Louis pulling it off, but
I think
I don't know.
St. Louis right now might be my pick to win it all this year. They're just so hot right now. If they can continue to be hot. All right, so I'm picking in this sense. We got St. Louis, LA rematch. St. Louis gets revenge from the sweep in 2012. St. Louis goes back to the conference finals, the first time since going to the Stanley Cup final and winning it. St. Louis will be representing the Central, and which means the Central is going to be representing the Western Conference in this scenario. Gil, we have Winnipeg, Colorado, rematch of last year. Does Winnipeg get revenge?
I don't know. I don't trust them. I don't trust them past the first round. They're not battle tested enough for me.
Colorado has their number. I'm gonna
Against
say no.
Colorado? No. I can't see that. I can't see it happen. Avalanche in 6.
Cheryl?
Yeah, Avs in 6.
Avs in 5. I think they knock them out. And 5 again in Winnipeg. And I think Brock Nelson, the guy that they were trying to trade for, will get the game-winning goal to send them home. Brock Nelson is going to have a monster playoffs for the Avs. I have Colorado, St. Louis. You guys have Cheryl has Colorado, St. Louis. Gil is the only one that picked Edmonton. Uh, West or East, Gil?
East.
Go East. All right, so we have Washington and Florida for you guys. I have Washington and Ottawa. Uh, I'll kick it off because why the fuck not? Uh, I'm gonna say it. This is where Ottawa's Cinderella story continues, baby. Ottawa in 5. No. Capitals. If Capitals played Ottawa in the conference finals, Capitals would beat them in 5. Uh, Capitals end the Cinderella story. Ottawa has a lot to look forward to if they have a playoff run like this, which I think they potentially could. The Atlantic, the whole entire East is fucking weak as all hell. I'm sorry, it is. I mean, there's a reason why no one has been eliminated in the East yet because they're so fucking terrible on that. It's just so bad. The Capitals, Carolina, and potentially Florida are the only 3 top heavy teams in that entire Eastern Conference. And even then, I don't think none of them are going to win it. You can already tell because the fact that the only 4 eliminations in the playoffs have been from the West tells you how deep the West is. The West already has their situation set. It's already set. The East is still trying to figure it out. So it doesn't matter who fucking wins this. They're not fucking winning the Stanley Cup in the next round. Washington in 5. Gil?
So I got Washington, Florida. I'm going to stick with my original projection. Florida finds a way to finish it, but it's going to be a battle, and it's going to go 7.
Cheryl?
I'm saying Caps in 7. Florida will put up a fight, but I think, especially if we can stay disciplined, we'll knock them out.
All right, so we have Colorado, Edmonton for Gil, Colorado, and St. Louis. Gil, kick us off.
Um, Colorado and Edmonton. I don't know. I can't remember what I said last time, but Colorado in 6 this time.
You picked Edmonton. So you basically picked Edmonton your first prediction, then Colorado, then Edmonton, now Colorado.
Well, it's the trend. Well,
It's,
a week ago, McDavid and Draisaitl weren't both hurt.
yeah, I'll give you the big like I said the biggest reason why I still picked Colorado to do this is because of the fact that they are getting their captain back. If he steps on that ice, I just don't know how they lose. Like that's just too much momentum for them to lose. They're gonna carry I've seen this happen multiple times. Tampa Bay did it in 2020 when Stamkos went down. He came back on that game 3 and that propelled them to win the Stanley Cup. The Avs are gonna do the same thing here. Landeskog's gonna bring so much energy that they missed in the last 3 years. Like, no one thought he was going to skate again. And the fact that he's already doing full... Even my buddy Matthew, who said he's not coming back. He's a big ass fan. He said he's not coming back. And I just told him the other day, I said, dude, isn't it fucking weird that Landeskog might actually play in the playoffs? He's like, I know, it's fucked. He's going to play. I'm like, even he's admitting that he's going to play. That tells you, and it takes him... He's better known hockey than me. He actually played it. Well, I played it too, but he's a goalie. So, he's played it longer than me. But anyways... That is going to be the major factor in this series. How is the captain, not Capitals, the Avalanche have really, the last 2 playoffs have been without an actual captain in that locker room. This year, I think, is going to be different, and it's going to show. The Avs are going to win this series. They're going to knock out St. Louis. Again, the Avs just have St. Louis's number come playoff time. There's a reason why they're 3-0 against them come playoff time in a series. Even when they play Edmonton, I think Edmonton's biggest kryptonite is Colorado. Edmonton's going to lose, even in that series. But I think Colorado beats St. Louis in 6. Go back to the Stanley Cup final with a rematch, with a first ever time matchup with Washington. Cheryl?
I think you're right. It's going to be at Colorado in 6.
So we have a Stanley Cup final matchup, 2025 Stanley Cup final matchup of Colorado, Florida for Gil, Colorado, and Washington for me and Cheryl. Gil, we'll save you for first. Gil, is your prediction going to be the same as the one before last? Or is it going to be the same throughout? Florida, gas. They run out of gas, and they finally
They run out of gas. They run out of gas against the Colorado team with a hell of a lot of momentum.
So how many games?
6.
6. Avs win it at home.
Yeah, probably.
Well, yeah, I think Florida is above them, so yeah. So the Colorado will win it at home. That place would be nuts. If Landeskog fucking lifts that cup after 3 years of being out. Cheryl.
Hold on a minute. I gotta do some thinking here. Because, yeah, we split the season with them. We clobbered them 5-2 the first time, and the last time they beat us 2-1.
Yeah, but I bet you right now, if we
So,
played Colorado now, they'd kick our ass.
yeah, I think it's gonna be. I'm still gonna go Caps in 7, but there's gonna be a
Because
lot of overtime games in
when
that
we
series.
played Colorado, they didn't have Brock Nelson. They didn't have Jack Drury. They didn't have Martin Nashis. They didn't have Ryan Lindgren. They didn't have Jimmy Vesey. They didn't have Charlie Coyle. They didn't have all this depth.
That's true.
They still beat us 2-1 with fucking Casey Middlestad, who's now on
Oh,
Boston. Which I didn't fucking know.
yeah.
Henry Yokiharu went to fucking Boston. I thought he was still in Buffalo. All right, my prediction here. I agree with Gil. Just way too much momentum. I think the Capitals will win the Stanley Cup either next year or the year after that. The Caps are not ready for the Stanley Cup yet. They will be ready. Next year is when we start looking towards being a cup contender. Especially if we get guys like Crystal and Chesley towards the end of the season. I could definitely see those guys coming up. We are not ready yet. Like even then, I think next year is when we start making those moves. We start trading away picks. We start trading away prospects to make plays. This year, we only went after Bolivier, and Bolivier has worked wonders for us.
Hmm.
But next year is
I
when we
mean,
make.
even if
Next year, go show.
I was gonna say, even if Colorado does win, I think the Caps are gonna give them a good fight. I
Uh,
mean, I don't think they're gonna make it easy for them.
I just trust. I trust Jared Bednar more than I trust Spencer right now. Spencer is an amazing coach. He's not experienced enough yet. Jared Bednar has won a Stanley Cup. That's gonna make the difference. Uh, but like I said, even Gil agrees. Like this year, we're not gonna go for the big fish. Next year is when we make our potential moves for big fishes to really put a cup contender together. That's when we make moves. We trade like a potential first rounder in that sense, because right there and then that's when we got to. Right now we're preparing. Right now it's always ready to get ready for Ryan Leonard. Now that we have Leonard on the roster, next year is when we look forward to building around him and building a cup contender. Um, which I'm sure if the Capitals are in this situation next year, Gil is probably going to pick them to go all the way. Um, but we have Colorado, my pick, Colorado, Washington in the Stanley Cup final. You said Caps in 7, right?
Yeah, but it's gonna be a long. It's gonna be a long 7. It's
I
gonna be a long
I
7.
I think I think once the Avs get past either Edmonton or St. Louis, they breeze through the Stanley Cup final. Washington runs out of gas. And Caps lose in 5 on home ice. The Stanley Cup has risen a second time. Because you remember, Detroit, when they won their Stanley Cup, it was on the Capitals' home ice. Uh, the Capitals will see a Stanley Cup risen, but it will not be from them. The Avs are going to win this series in 5. The momentum is just going to be too much to handle. Landeskog being back, the Avs are going to be on a mission. I think they win their second Stanley Cup in 3 years. Jared Bednar gets a huge, massive contract, and we start talking about a dynasty in Colorado. 4 years, 2 and 4 years, not 3. I don't want to say 3, 2 and 4. Still, this is kind of like that's how Chicago did it. Look, if you look at Chicago won the Stanley Cup in 2010. How long did it take them to win their second? 3 years. What is Colorado on? Their third season since winning the Stanley Cup. And Colorado's still relatively young. It's not like their roster's old. They still have a bunch of guys in their 20s. Like, their blue line is... Half their blue line's 20-year-olds. The oldest, I think, is Manson at what? 30?
How old is Landeskog?
Landeskog's not on the roster yet. But
I know he's not on the roster yet.
he's
I'm just
31, I
asking,
think.
How old is he?
Josh Manson's
you.
33. He is the oldest guy in the blue line. Think about that. Cal McCarr is still the youngest at 26. He's only 26! And it feels like he's been playing in the league for almost 10 years. That'll be impressive, though. 2 Stanley Cups. Conn Smythe. He's potentially going to win the Norris this year. McKinnon's probably going to win another Hart. So Landeskog is, I believe, only a year older. So he's 32. Nathan McKinnon is 29. Turns 30 in September. So, all right, so let's get into it. The Conn Smythes. Conn Smythe winners.
McKinnon for me.
McKinnon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you have the Capitals winning, so.
So it doesn't necessarily mean that it's not the first time the losing team
Losers-
wins the Conn Smythe.
Losing team can have a guy
Well,
win.
McDavid did win it last
It
year.
happened last year, yeah.
Do you think he accepts it?
No, I think McKinnon. I mean, Protus probably needs to be in the conversation, but I think McKinnon.
I think Protus is not going to show up come playoff time. I'm sorry. I still don't trust Protus. I think we have a better shot of seeing Ryan Leonard be more clutch than Protus.
That would be interesting.
That would be some crazy shit, though. Capitals win the Stanley Cup and Ryan Leonard wins the Conn Smythe. That would be some crazy shit.
Oh, I mean, not the Conn Smythe, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
Well, if we win the
That
Stanley
would be some
Cup,
crazy shit. Well, see, here's the thing. So that would be the trifecta, right? Ovi breaks the record, Caps win the Cup, Leonard gets the Conn Smythe. That would be the trifecta.
Leonard's winning the fucking Calder Trophy next year. The Calder Award. Like, I don't see anyone, maybe Perreault, maybe Snuggerud, but Snuggerud is already going to play enough games where he's not going to be considered a rookie next year.
Right.
Because you got to play, if you play more than 9 games, your contract burns.
Right.
And
I don't think Perreault's going to be given the opportunity.
Jimmy Snuggerud
given
has
the
already
coach.
played how many games? He's already played what? 2 games already?
Nuggy, he's played at least 2 or 3.
So he's not going to be a rookie next year. Ryan Leonard, he's projected to play 7, so he'll still be a rookie. He's played 1. Leonard has only played 1. He's projected to only play, 8 games?
Yes.
Which is how much is left in the season. He will still be a rookie next year.
Yeah, and Perreault would be playing 7 or 8 games.
They don't even have him fucking on this fucking elite prospect bullshit. Look at this. Look at this shit.
Who's
Oh, no,
that?
it's right here. It's right here. Okay. So he's projected to play 9 games. So is it 9 games or is it... The fact that he's projected to play more games than fucking Snuggerud... So you need at least... So right here. So you got to play 10 games in a season. Oh, shit. Including both regular season and playoffs.
Oh.
He won't play. He won't play in the playoffs. That's the main concern. They're not going to play him because they're not going to want to burn his ELC. He will not play in the playoffs. That's the big reason. Not even if he plays amazing, they're not going to want to burn his contract. But Leonard will win the Calder Trophy next year as a rookie. I just don't see anyone else beating him out. He is going to be a main focal next year for the Capitals. He's going to have a full offseason with the Caps. They got him not scoring anything. Wow. Oh, because he doesn't score anything yet. I guarantee if he scores a point, gets an assist, it'll probably save 3 or 4. So let's get into it with our last segment of the episode before the Caps game starts in the next 7 minutes. No live stream tonight. I don't feel like live streaming. We're gonna do my homework. Cheryl's gotta do something on the computer anyways. Um, so did you do dinner?
Yes, it's ready.
Okay. All right. Gil, our fucking prediction was way wrong. It's just like good thing we didn't do March Madness. Our fucking prediction would have been way wrong then too. We would have lost money. Uh, so the Frozen Four is officially set. Obviously, we know because Leonard's a capital. So we have Denver versus Western Michigan rematch, Penn State versus Boston University. Winners go to the Frozen Four national title game. They're in St. Louis. Uh, Gil, you want to kick off with Denver, Western Michigan, or Boston University and Penn State?
Oh, BU BU's going to wipe the floor with Penn State. I wasn't impressed with them, even though they beat Maine. Maine had a way off game. They didn't show up.
Yeah. Well, this is Penn State's first ever Frozen Four, too. This is Western Michigan's also first ever Frozen Four. So you have, what's the score?
4-2.
4-2. Cole Hudson, score? Yay or nay?
He gets at least a point. I don't know if he scores.
All right. Yeah, I think Boston University wins this. I think they win 5-2. Cole Hudson will have the game winner. Cole Hudson will continue to impress. We I don't want to. I got yelled at for saying that on Twitter about Chesley, so I'm not really gonna mention it. But we did talk to Tarek at the Irish channel after the Caps game on Sunday. He didn't personally he personally believes the Capitals are gonna and the GM Patrick. So it's not GM Patrick did not physically say this. All right. I got in trouble for that because I misinterpreted him with Chesley. I thought he said he talked to Patrick. He didn't. I deleted the tweets. He asked me to, and I did it. That's over with. I am not physically saying in this. Tariq said, GM Patrick said to him that Cole Hudson they'll leave it up to him. No, he personally believes they're going to leave it up to him. So Tarek personally believes, not GM Patrick, but Tarek El-Bashir believes that the Capitals are going to leave it up to Cole Hudson to sign with them this offseason or go back his sophomore season. So
that is what he said.
That's what he's saying.
To it.
I got in trouble for the Chesley. I got in trouble for the Chesley because I misinterpreted what he said. I thought he told me that he talked to GM Patrick, but no, he was just speculating. So, which it ultimately was true. Chesley did end up signing with Hershey. He did tell us that he asked me when the next Hershey game was, and I said Friday, and he said that's probably when he's going to make his debut. So he did say that. So I'm going to put that for a record. Sorry, Turk. We already talked on Twitter. We got that settled out. But yes, Cole Hudson, leave it up to Cole Hudson. That's what the Caps are, what it's believed to be the Caps are going to do. They're going to leave it up to him. If he wants to sign, go ahead. That's another reason why they probably left Chesley to do his amateur tryout, because potentially they could sign Cole Hudson after this Frozen Four. I don't think they will. I think he's going back his sophomore season. I think he needs another year in his sophomore year. He'll need another year in the World Juniors to impress, and he'll potentially sign next year. But I think he advances here to his first ever national title. Now we have the big boy, the rematch of the NCHC semifinal tournament. Denver got knocked out after blowing a 3-0 lead to Western Michigan. Cheryl, we didn't ask you. Cheryl, your prediction for Boston University, Penn State.
Oh, Boston, no doubt.
Score?
I think Penn State's going to give them a little more fight. I think it's going to be more like a 1-goal game, more like a 4-3. I think Penn State's going to give them a little bit of a fight, but ultimately, they're going to just get outplayed in the end.
Okay. All right, let's get into this. Denver, Western Michigan. Cheryl, kick us off.
And I'm not saying this because of a certain somebody who lives in my house who's a Denver fan. No, I think Denver will get revenge on Western Michigan, but I think they'll do it actually in style. I think they have the capacity to do it. They'll probably do it 4-2.
Gil, does Denver get revenge?
Yeah. Denver 2-1.
2-1? I think Western Michigan, Denver loves playing against teams in their first ever Frozen Four appearance. They did this against Minnesota State a couple of years ago. They did it against the 2017. They did it against another team. But ever since David Carl took over this team, they've always had a different funk. When they make it to the Frozen Four, they fucking win it. They've yet to lose with David Carl in the Frozen Four. Denver will get revenge. Matt Davis is on a mission. Matt Davis has only given up 2 goals in 2 games in this entire tournament. And he's faced a ton of shots. Denver has outscored their opponents 8-2. Western Michigan has had to battle. They've had to battle. They're not playing a team that's gonna be a low scoring. Minnesota State doesn't have that top guy. UMass doesn't have that top guy. UMass shouldn't have even been in that final. It should have been Minnesota. That was a bullshit missed call on Chesley. That was trip. That was a fucking trip. Even Luke Middlestad got hurt. That was a penalty too. I think Denver says bye-bye to Western Michigan. We have a Denver BU national title game. And I'm sticking to my guns. This is where David Carl earns himself an NHL contract. The Pioneers are going to repeat. And this is going to be David Carl's swan song, and he's going to be going off into the NHL, potentially to coach the New York Rangers. Gil, your prediction for Denver BU?
I don't see anybody beating Denver's defense. Denver 2-1.
Against Boston University? Cheryl?
Yeah.
Well, these two teams played each other last year, too, in the Frozen Four, to be honest. Denver knocked them out of the playoff. They knocked them in overtime. Remember that. They beat Boston University to go to the national title game last year. So this would be a rematch of last year's Frozen Four. Cheryl?
Yeah, I think Boston's going to put up a fight because it is a rematch, and they got knocked out last year. But I think Denver's going to come out ahead. Probably 2-1, 3-2, something like that.
This might be Denver.
I think Boston's going to put up a fight.
I think this might be Denver's last title. Well, I don't know. David Carl has really set up his assistant to be the next head coach. This will be arguably Denver's greatest triumph. The Pioneers win it, and potentially the Avalanche win the Stanley Cup. Perfect. Remember, last time Denver and Colorado both won was 22. Remember that. 22. All right. Caps game's about to start. We're going to end this podcast, episode 22. Fat Ass wasn't with us tonight. We didn't really want to mention about it because he's at the Amherst game. I got to watch the stupid Rochester Amherst. The fucking trash organization. I'm a Capitals fan, but yet I root for Rochester instead of rooting for their AHL team, the Hearst Bears. I got to root for No, I'm just kidding. He can root whatever the fuck he wants to. It makes sense. They're close from home. Just too bad their NHL officiate is the fucking Buffalo Traspers. All right, so Gil, we will see you on Tuesday. Unless you join the live stream like you did you joined it after we ended it last night. But we'll see you back on Tuesday and then Wednesday again for next week's episode. Episode 23. 23. Holy shit. We're at 23 episodes this season. The longest we've had all 4 seasons. This has been great. In a couple weeks, I think I'm going to pull back on. I'm still going to live stream the NFL draft. I just don't think I'm going to make this a completely full NFL channel yet. But we'll get into that when the NFL draft happens in a couple weeks. It's already fucking April. Can you believe that? All right, but anyways, let's go Caps on 3. Let's go Ryan Leno, and press this tonight. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Let's go Caps!
Go Caps!
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely